Reaching 80 years old is a milestone of experience and resilience, but it's also the point where the body stops hiding the accumulated effects of time. Over the decades, organs, tissues, and systems function a bit more slowly, metabolism decelerates, and even the body's responses to simple stimuli become different. This doesn't mean absolute fragility, but rather transformation, and knowing how to recognize these changes is essential for maintaining health and quality of life. At 80, it's natural for respiratory capacity to diminish. The lungs lose some of their elasticity, making oxygen exchange less efficient than before. This translates to fatigue during light activities or a greater need for pauses during simple efforts. Similarly, the heart's rhythm tends to stabilize at a slower pace, with reduced ability to adapt to physical stress situations. Muscles also change. There's a tendency toward reduced muscle mass, a process called sarcopenia that affects strength and mobility. This makes movement slower, joints more sensitive, and balance more challenging. But it's not an inevitable fate of fragility. With the right stimuli, many of these effects can be delayed or even partially reversed, even after 80. Another important point is the perception of the senses. Vision, hearing, taste, and even touch undergo alterations. Colors may seem less vibrant, sounds more muffled, flavors more subtle. These changes are part of the nervous system's reorganization over time, and while they don't prevent enjoying life, they require conscious adaptations in the environment and daily habits to preserve safety and independence. Finally, it's necessary to understand that these transformations are part of a continuous process, not a sudden drop. The body doesn't age overnight. It sends signals, modifies its rhythm, asks for new care. Knowing how to listen to this body with respect and knowledge allows for living longer and better. Because at 80, the secret isn't in resisting changes, but in learning to walk alongside them. With the passing years, especially after 70, the body starts losing muscle mass steadily. This process, called sarcopenia, causes no pain or alarm, but directly affects strength, posture, and stability. At 80, it becomes more evident, with greater difficulty climbing stairs, getting out of bed, or maintaining balance on uneven surfaces. The body no longer responds with the same agility to simple commands. Automatic acts like walking or carrying a bag start requiring more effort. This happens because muscles, less dense and less active, no longer have the same tone to support the body's weight or protect joints. Each movement begins to depend on more attention and control. Muscle loss also affects reaction time. In risky situations, like a stumble, the body takes longer to reorganize and avoid a fall. This explains why falls are more common and more dangerous in this age group. Additionally, muscle recovery after small efforts becomes slower, requiring more rest between activities. Despite this, muscle still responds to stimulus, even at 80. Light, guided, and regular exercises help preserve strength, posture, and independence. Keeping the body in motion is one of the most effective ways to slow muscle loss and ensure more safety and autonomy in daily life. Subscribe to the channel. Here you'll find reliable and practical content to take care of your physical and mental health, disease prevention, tips for healthy habits, well-being and quality of life. Turn on notifications and follow our updates to live with more balance and health. Now let's continue. At 80 years old, the heart continues working with the same dedication as always, but at a different rhythm. It no longer beats with the same force nor responds as quickly to the body's stimuli. Artery walls become more rigid, making blood passage harder and requiring more effort from the heart muscle. That's why simple activities, like walking or climbing steps, can cause fatigue that didn't exist before. Over time, the electrical system that regulates beats also changes. The heart rhythm tends to become more irregular, alternating moments of slowness and acceleration without warning. This doesn't mean the heart is failing, but rather that it needs attention and monitoring. Medication use, hydration, and blood pressure control become indispensable allies. Another important point is the heart's sensitivity to emotions. Stress, scares, and worries have a more direct impact at this age, raising pressure and accelerating beats. That's why keeping the mind calm and cultivating habits that promote relaxation are measures as important as physical exercise. The heart at 80 doesn't ask for strength, it asks for care. It demands a calmer pace of life, more regular sleep, and a body kinder to itself. Those who learn to respect this new rhythm discover it's possible to live with energy, balance, and serenity, even when time is taught to slow down. At 80 years old, the brain undergoes a natural process of deceleration. This means remembering names, dates, or where you put your glasses might take longer than before. These small memory lapses are common and part of healthy aging. The brain keeps functioning, but at a different pace, slower, yet still active and capable. However, there's a subtle line between what's normal and what deserves attention. Frequently forgetting appointments, repeating the same questions in a short time, or getting lost in familiar places are signs that require investigation. Not every forgetfulness is a serious alert, but some patterns may indicate the start of conditions like dementia or Alzheimer's. It's important to highlight that the brain remains malleable. Even at 80, it responds well to stimuli like reading, conversations, reasoning games, and new learning. These activities keep brain connections active and help preserve mental clarity. Stimulating thought is as essential as caring for physical health. Memory may not be as swift, but it remains reliable when well treated. The secret is in keeping the brain in motion, just like the body. And when something seems out of pattern, seeking early medical evaluation can make all the difference in control and quality of life. With the passing years, the skeleton loses density. At 80, bones no longer have the same resistance, becoming more susceptible to fractures, especially in hips, wrists, and spine. This happens due to calcium loss and decreased bone renewal, a natural process, but one that can be mitigated with the right care. Osteoporosis is a common condition in this phase of life, often silent, only manifesting after a fall. The risk isn't just in bone fragility, but also in the combination with reduced muscle strength and balance, which increases the chance of household accidents. Small stumbles can lead to big consequences. Despite this, bones still respond well to prevention. A diet rich in calcium and vitamin D, light physical activities, and controlled sun exposure are effective measures. Additionally, reviewing the home environment, removing loose rugs, and ensuring adequate lighting reduces fall risks. Bone fragility doesn't need to limit freedom. It just requires a more attentive gaze and more conscious actions. Those who care for the structure that supports the body gain confidence to stay active, with safety and independence, even as time passes. At 80 years old, the digestive system no longer functions with the same agility as decades ago. Enzyme production decreases, stomach emptying slows, and nutrient absorption in the intestines becomes less efficient. This means that even eating well, the body may not be taking full advantage of what it consumes. Additionally, appetite usually decreases, and the sensation of thirst becomes less intense. Many older adults end up eating less than they need, or drinking little water, which contributes to weakness, dehydration, and muscle mass loss. Intestinal constipation also becomes more frequent, requiring adjustments in diet and routine. The answer lies in adapting, not restricting. Fractioning meals, including lighter and more nutritious foods, preferring easy-to-digest preparations, and ensuring good hydration throughout the day are simple and effective measures. Fibers, high-quality proteins, and healthy fats become important allies. The body at 80 doesn't need large quantities, but smart choices. Nourishing well maintains energy, strengthens immunity, and preserves the functioning of all systems. And when digestion slows, it's dietary awareness that takes command. With 80 years, the skin reveals much more than age. It becomes thinner, more sensitive, and with less elasticity, losing rapid regeneration capacity. Small injuries take longer to heal and appear more easily. Natural hydration also decreases, favoring dryness and requiring daily care. Sleep, in turn, follows a new rhythm. Many older adults sleep less at night and feel more drowsiness during the day. This isn't just an age issue, but a reflection of hormonal changes and lower melatonin production. Rest remains essential, but it needs to be respected as the body asks for pauses and adapts cycles. Immunity also declines silently. The body becomes less efficient at responding to viruses, bacteria, and inflammations. That's why colds, urinary infections, and small viruses have greater impact and require immediate attention. Vaccination, balanced nutrition, and adequate sleep become pillars for keeping natural defenses active. These signs, though discreet, show that the body asks for a new form of care. Observing the skin, respecting sleep, and strengthening immunity aren't aesthetic details or random routines. They're strategies that sustain well-being and protect the organism when it has already walked far. At 80 years old, adapting doesn't mean giving up. It means understanding that the body has changed, but life continues with space for movement, joy, and purpose. The routine needs to be kinder, choices more conscious, but none of that nullifies the pleasure of living well. The secret is in adjusting the rhythm, not stopping the walk. Autonomy is built with small decisions. Having set schedules, keeping the body active within possibilities, cultivating bonds, and doing activities that bring pleasure are attitudes that strengthen mind and body. Even with limitations, it's possible to live with enthusiasm as long as the lifestyle accompanies the moment's needs. This phase of life requires more listening, more attention, and more care. But it can also offer more wisdom, more presence, and more quality time. Aging isn't the end of the road, it's a new type of path. And those who learn to walk differently continue going far. If you've made it this far, take the opportunity to watch the other videos appearing on the screen. They were created to help you better understand your body, care for your health, and enjoy the stage with more awareness and freedom. Because living well at 80 is possible, and it starts with the right information.